I've never spoken about this on my channel before, but some recent events have meant that I can finally talk about my tattle journey of hell. So stay tuned if you want to hear all about those horrible trolls that live under bridges. So hey guys, it's Becky and welcome to my channel, and thank you so much for joining me today. I do everything from plus size fashion to beauty, lifestyle, vlogs, travel, all of that good stuff over here every Tuesday and Thursday. And I have been here ever since 2020 on that same schedule. And I know a lot of you have found my channel many years ago and have been fantastic supporters of me with all of your views, your millions of views, your thousands of comments, likes. Honestly, your support for this channel has been immense, and I appreciate every single one of you that has obviously put positivity into my channel. But of course, when there is light, there is also dark, and there is a lot of dark. So yeah, stay tuned if you want to kind of hear a bit more about this. I haven't ever spoken about this on my channel for reasons I will go into, but some stuff has come to light. There's been some major changes, and a lot of other content creators are currently talking about it. So I thought I would throw my hat into the ring and talk about Tattle Life. So where to begin? I had never come across Tattle in my life. Before 2020, when I started my channel, I was a huge YouTube watcher. I probably watched YouTube probably even pre-2016. I know I really got into it around the beauty era, you know, Manny MUA, Laura Lee, Tatty, Jeffree Star. That era, I was obsessed with YouTube, and to be honest, I still am now. I love watching YouTube while I do work and stuff in the background. I just find it very, very comforting, and it's like just hanging out with a friend. I have, yeah, loved just content creators. I've always tried to support the best way I can, leaving little comments here and there. But, you know, obviously when you leave a comment, sometimes you see other comments that are not so nice. This I found especially on Learning to Be Fearless, Alex. I followed Alex for years and years and years. And I noticed that a lot of the comments were always of the same kind of vein, and always on the hate comments were always the same things that they were kind of bringing up, and it always seemed quite targeted rather than random, which I never really fully got why. And also, just to put that level of hate out there openly, I always just found really bizarre. I think a lot of us find trolling really, really bizarre. So it wasn't maybe until 2023 when I had a comment which was, "Have you read what they're saying about you on Tattle Life?" Now I know now that was total bait. They themselves were probably the ones writing that. And that was the first time I ever found out about Tattle Life. It is this website which they describe as just like, oh, we're just here to gossip about celebrities and influencers, and there's no harm here, like there's no hate here, where actually it is a forum for sad little people to belittle, berate, dox, find the addresses of the influencers' family members, find out where their kids go to nursery, stalk them on holidays, stalk them outside their houses, follow them around supermarkets. The stories that you're hearing online about what these trolls do is disgusting. It is absolutely wild. I have been very fortunate that it's never ever gone that far, but it's still gone too far. So of course I found the forum of me dedicated to moi. And all these little people, I think there's maybe like 3 of them, the 3 little witches stirring a cauldron. I remember one of the comments, it still makes me laugh to this day, and it's one that I tell all my friends about because we find it absolutely hilarious. Is I did, I think it was one of the first times I ever did like a grocery haul. I just randomly filmed it because I love watching grocery videos and seeing what other people buy. And I just filmed my Tesco one day. And it was in January, so while I wasn't going on a diet, I was trying to eat a little bit healthier. So I bought some frozen fruit and veg to start, you know, adding a bit more into my meals and stuff. But I also bought, wait for it guys, because this is gonna, you might even unfollow me for this, because it's one of the worst things I've ever done. So I bought the frozen fruit and veg, right, saying I was gonna be healthy. And then guys, I bought full fat Philadelphia. I know. Handcuff me now, take me to the courts. What? That was apparently worthy of a whole barrage of hate, because I bought full fat Philadelphia. You do, like, if you don't laugh, you'll cry, because there's, you know, that was one of the funny bits. There was a lot of horrible things written about me, also written about my parents, which that is really disgusting, guys. Like, my dad was born during the war. You know, like, you're having a go at like an 80-something-year-old man who just comes on my videos for the joy of it. Like, what? Like, I find it unbelievable. So that was the first time I found out about Tattle Life, and it's really funny because basically when you get a thread started, whenever someone comments on it, it pushes you up in the forum to the top. And it was really funny because I always noticed when I maybe did a video that was maybe like the food video or like a big life moment, I'd always get like an influx of views and new subscribers, but also an influx of these hate comments. And I think it's really interesting because I always knew when, I guess, someone had posted on Tattle Life, because I would get an influx of new people finding my channel. So thank you for commenting and pushing my thread up on Tattle Life, because I got more subscribers. So obviously it was very upsetting when I first saw the thread, because it's just people literally tearing you apart off tiny things like full fat Philadelphia. And you know, I don't come on here pretending to be perfect. I am literally just human. No influencer is pretending to be perfect. But I think I think I'm a pretty well-rounded human, and you know, my friends, family and co-workers know who I am. But it's just a shame that, like so many other influencers, like these people, man, I would just love to meet one of you guys that write these, because I don't want to understand why you're so sad. Like, why do you do it? It's just crazy. So I only went on the forum and one other time, because basically, guys, I really do appreciate you guys that do respect my privacy. I think when I first started my channel, I never expected to have a little audience. I never expected it. You know, I just did it because I was really lonely during COVID. I never expected to have almost 25,000 subscribers. Like, it honestly blows my mind, but I did use my real name, which, thinking about it now, might have been a little bit silly. But I just never expected for this to happen. So obviously, if you do Google me, like, other things come up about not my personal life, but my work life. And I really do appreciate those of you that do you know, respect my privacy, and respect that my kind of like influencing content creation side is very separate to my career. I am quite active in my industry, and I have spoken on my channel about what I do, but ultimately the trolls found my portfolio and decided to spell check it, which was very helpful because I was able to find all of the grammatical errors and fix them. But this is when things got a little bit hairy. You're really crossing a boundary there. You know, you know, when you're content creating, there does need to be respect in space, and I show you what I'm happy to show you, but I don't want people scribbling around on Google and that trying to find more information about me that I purposefully don't put it out there. So they found my portfolio, they found out where I worked, and ultimately this led to me having a conversation with work about the trolls, just because I'd heard on how far these trolls go in some cases, in terms of actually reaching out to the place of work and slandering the person, on, you know, with no actual like real evidence or anything. So I did let my work know, my line manager at the time, and he was absolutely fine with it. Like my work know that I do YouTube, and to be honest, they really like it. Everyone always asks me like lots of questions about it, and people think it's really cool. So work has no issue with me. I don't really talk about the brands we work for, just because I think there would be a bias, and I don't want to say anything that would upset the brands that I work for, but I also don't want to lie to you guys. So I always just think like, I don't want to like upset anybody. I don't want to rock the boat. So I always I don't really talk about any of the brands that I work on YouTube. So everyone's pretty happy. But yeah, when they found out where I worked, I did have to have a conversation with work. And my line manager was absolutely amazing. He just reassured me that, you know, they are literally just crazy people. They're literally trolls, and yeah, not to worry. You know, everybody knows who I am, and just because some randomer on the internet writes an email doesn't mean that's going to change the company's opinion of me. And yeah, not to worry. So that was a great relief, but it is horrible. Like, it does really feel like a violation of my privacy, and I honestly can't imagine how other content creators have felt when like their childcare, like their nursery for their children has been revealed. Like, it's just disgusting. So why am I bringing this up now? Well, essentially in Ireland, maybe just over a week ago, well, if you didn't know, I'll start with a bit of a backstory. Influencers, content creators have been trying to take this site down for years and have gotten nowhere, because essentially the owner of this site has protected themselves with various company names, putting them in places around the world, and essentially influencers, content creators haven't been able to essentially sue anyone because they can't find who owns this website, because it's essentially doxing. Like, what they're allowing to be shared online is illegal. So for the longest time, no one's been able to sue, get the website taken down or anything, because they've not had a person to target. But recently, in a court in Ireland, there were a couple that were taking Tattle to court, and I think they ended up using private investigators to ultimately, I'm going to say, the man's neck, because of course it was a man that owned this website. So let me find his name. Oh, he's such a pathetic little man. His name is Sebastian Bond. And he actually had he himself is a content creator of vegan foods. But this man was profiteering off the hate for influencers, and most of the people that were getting targeted were also women. It was never male influencers that were on Tattle Life. 90% of the hate was directed at female content creators. So now Sebastian Bond has been named as the owner, and now that means that all of us content creators can sue the heck out of him, and it's a fantastic day. I've seen so many other influencers talk about their Tattle Life stories, and quite frankly, they're fucking horrific. Sorry for swearing, but it's just it's in a very emotive situation. But I'm so happy that we're all finally able to talk about it. I've wanted to do this video for a long time because I just feel like it's really important to take back our power and to take the power away from the trolls. And ultimately, I've only looked at that website twice and I've never looked at it again, so you can type all you want, I'm not reading it. I'd block anyone that instantly looks like they're the three little witches of Tattle Life with your multiple little silly accounts. Yeah, you just instantly block. Like, it's just a load of rubbish that they're writing. So if that's you, you're just gonna get blocked straight away. I also have had admins as well I don't even see the comments. So so yeah, basically, if Sebastian Bond can be unmasked, so can all you other little trolls. It now means that it's fair game. It's fair game. So you're no longer protected by anonymity. You know what I'm trying to say. Of the internet, you can be found. And you will be found. So keep typing. But also some fantastic news is Google has stopped Google ads on the website as well. So he's no longer making money, which this should have happened a long time ago. But it's great that they've finally done it. Would have liked to have seen Meta or Google/YouTube actively go after them as well, for the fact that it's affected many of their content creators. It would have been really nice to have seen them take a bit of action, considering how much it's affected some people to horrendous levels. So thank you again to all of you that support me in a really positive and meaningful way. I want to end this obviously on a really happy note. So I think it is a happy note. It's a new era, it's a new chapter. We're leaving this tattle bullshit behind. And yeah, I think there's a lot of weight that's been lifted off a lot of shoulders, and I'm just so happy that we're all talking about it. So that is my little troll story. Luckily not as extreme as some other people's. I'm really grateful. I'm not really grateful for the trolls, but I'm glad it's not gone too far for me, but for some other influencers it has been really horrible. I've not let it get to me because I know who I am, but yeah, it was always going on in the background, and it's finally over. So on to a tattle-free world. I think it's going to be great. I think influencers are going to have their confidence back, and yeah, it's just not nice for people to be harassed. So massive thank you to all of you that do support me in lovely ways. You know, all the comments, the likes, the messages on Instagram and things like that. I honestly really do appreciate, especially ones that have been with me since 2020 and beyond. And yeah, I love all of you that spread positivity and kindness. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe and like. But I'll see you all very, very soon, guys. Bye.